Hi all, Ms. Sugo here. We are working on angle bisectors. Now, as you saw in the instructional video, angle bisectors are rays that cut an angle into two equal parts. And so what I like to do is I like to set up a part-whole method. So this is the whole thing. And the whole thing is broken up into two parts, part 1 and part 2. So in this case, angle ABC is the whole part. Angle ABD is part 1, and angle DBC is part 2. So if I were to make a part-whole model, I would say that angle ABC is the whole thing, and it's broken up into two equal parts, angle ABD and angle DBC. So this is the relationship that occurs with angle bisectors. Now moving on to how we can solve for angles using angle bisectors. So I'm going to start this again. I have my box. The whole thing is angle Q. Okay, so this angle is the whole thing. And then I have part 1 and part 2, where part 1 is not given yet, and then part 2 is 41 degrees. But I know that because this is an angle that is being cut in half, I know that 41 degrees, this is also 41 degrees because they are two equal parts. And so when I add 41 and 41 together, I get that 41 degrees and 41 degrees makes, you can pause if you ever need to grab a calculator, but it's 82 degrees. This is 41, and this is 41. Then angle Q must be 82. So we're using this part-whole method to solve for unknowns. So here we have another situation, and so we are going to be doing our part-whole model again. So the whole thing is going to equal to this whole thing right here, 150 degrees. And it's broken up into two parts. We can say that this is part 1, this is part 2. Part 1 is 4x minus 5. But I know that part 2 should also be 4x minus 5 because angle bisectors cut the angle into two parts that are the same. So now I'm just putting this together. I have 4x minus 5 plus 4x minus 5 is equal to 150 degrees. And now I'm going to combine like terms. So I have 8x, and then I'm going to combine the negative 5 and then negative 5, which gives me negative 10, is equal to 150 degrees. Now I'm just doing algebra. And then I'm going to add 10 to both sides. So I get 8x is equal to 160. Divide 8 by both sides to get x is equal to 20. And so for solving for x, we're just using this relationship that this part plus this part is equal to the whole part. And so we're going to see a couple more examples that have to do with that. Here, we're going to solve for angle A. And I'm going to call this right here angle A. And so I want to know what this whole angle is. So I'm going to draw my box. Okay, the whole thing is angle A. Angle A is broken up into two parts. 26 is one part. The other part is 5x plus 11. Now, what do I know about part 1 and part 2? Well, I know that they must be equal. They must be equal, and this symbol right here that I'm pointing at right now, this shows me that they are equal. So first I'm going to find out what x is. Now, I don't have to, but I will. Right? If I know that this is equal to 26, because they're both equal, I'm going to subtract 11 from both sides, and I'm left with 15 is equal to 5x. When I divide 5 by both sides, I get 3 is equal to x. And so I have that 3 is equal to x. And in order to find angle A, I have to continue to solve for this angle. 15 plus 11 is equal to 26. Now, some of you guys think right now that I shouldn't have done all of this work, because I know that if part 1 is 26, that part 2 also is 26. And so when I add part 1 and part 2 together, my answer should give me angle A, which is 52. Okay, all I'm doing is finding the parts, putting them together to find the whole. Okay, so we are almost done. We are going to do 2 more. So here we are just going to solve for angle PRS. So we want to know this whole angle. What is that angle measurement? So I'm going to do my box, right? I have the whole thing is angle PRS. And I'm just going to say that this part is x plus 40, and this part is 3x minus 20. Well, what do I know about these two parts? Remember, they are equal. They're always going to be equal. So now I'm just going to solve. X plus 40 is equal to 3x minus 20. And now it's just a matter of algebra. I'm going to add 20 to both sides. When I add 20 to both sides, I get x plus 60 is equal to 3x. When I subtract x from both sides, I get 60 is equal to 2x. Finally, divide 2, and I get that x is equal to 30. Great. X is equal to 30, but we are not finished. I still need to plug 30 into these two equations. Now, this is the thing. I don't have to plug it into both of them. I can just plug it into one of them because these are both the same number. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to solve for part 1. When I solve for part 1, I have that 30 plus 40 is equal to 70. So now I can erase all of this ugliness because I know that this is 70. And I know that 70 is also this ugliness because both angles are equal to each other. So I can just erase that. This is equal to 70. So now the question remains, what is angle PRS? Well, when I add 70 and 70 together, I get that angle PRS is equal to 140 degrees. These problems are not always going to take 1 minute. They're going to require you to do steps, but in your notebook, we're asking you to do this part-whole model. Everyone's notebook should have these boxes. This is what we are going to be looking for in order to help you solve. So for this problem, we only want angle PQS. We only want angle PQS. This angle right over here. And so what is our whole thing? Our whole thing is angle PQR. Then we have angle PQS and angle RQS. Okay, so we have these two angles. I will highlight them for you. Here we have PQS. And then here we have RQS. This is RQS. This is PQS. And we only want to find out what PQS is. So I'm going to fill in my box. I'm going to say that angle PQR is equal to 13x minus 1 plus 6x plus 4. And once again, I know that these two things are equal to each other. So now we're just going to solve an algebra problem. 13x minus 1 is equal to 6x plus 4. I'm going to add 1 to both sides to get rid of this. I'm left with 13x is equal to 6x plus 5. I'm going to subtract 6x from both sides, which leaves me with 7x is equal to 5. Okay, I'm hoping that I did this correctly. 13x minus 1. No. Well, yeah, I did it correctly. We have 5. We have minus 6. And then we have here an ugly number, which I'm not really happy that we have. We divide both sides by 7. this is what we get. We get an ugly, ugly number of 5/7. So you know what? Instead of solving for PQS, we will just leave it at X, just because we're never going to give you a problem where this is a fraction, but X is equal to 5/7. Okay, so take a look at it. We're using these relationships to solve, and that's what geometry is all about. Using relationships, using the algebra skills that we know and love to solve for unknowns. As always, please feel free to come to office hour. If you need help, our office hour is Thursdays. So you'll be seeing this video on a Thursday from 3 to 3:30. Can't wait to see you there, and have a wonderful, wonderful night.